Yeah, someone just gave me some food, which is nice, and it's like every day, not every day this week, but like for the last couple of days in the morning, people like are giving me stuff, which is nice because I do struggle with getting food to eat, being a Maroon. Um, but the problem is like sometimes it feels like charity or something like that, or like they're they don't understand that I'm like living on this bench or whatever because my roommates framed and tried to lynch me, you know? Um and because of colonialism, they like literally stole my possessions, things of mine, things of value. They stole and like destroyed. It's because of being stolen from, not just geopolitically, traditionally, generationally, but in my life, ritualistically stolen from. Um, I guess maybe people intuit that, but it's like without having the conversation, it can make the exchange of gifts feel hollow and like tainted by coloniality. And but yeah, I did have that conversation with someone today, and it felt really good, and I want to keep having it, and have it with more people, because I feel like a microcosm of Haiti, being Haitian, I'm a Haitian Maroon, and it's like the whole reason my roommates were mad at me in the first place is that the world is structured for people like me, specifically people whose bodies are shaped like mine, who are dark skinned black people, not to reach their potential, because that would mean escaping from slavery and destroying the institution of slavery. And the latter is what I'm out here to do, destroy the institution of slavery, you know? And a lot of people are going to find that inconvenient, just like they found the Haitian Revolution inconvenient, because it's an ongoing revolution. But tough fucking titties, If you can acknowledge that slavery is bad and that it never really ended, then you can also acknowledge that its ending is going to be, it's going to really irritate some people, but that's fucking tough for them. And when a black person who looks like me starts to say that, the people who the world deploys to silence them really is black feminists, just like it's, a black woman in the UN raising their hand to object to a ceasefire in Palestine. Just like my roommates pretended to care about me when I was in prison for clout, and then when I got out, immediately tried to frame me when I wouldn't sing their song. You know, it's an ideology used to keep black people in line. Um, just like it's Kenyans, and ironically, one of my roommates is Kenyan. Yeah, just like it's Kenyans who the UN is sending in to invade Haiti because the optics of sending a white army in would be too bad at this point. You know, colonialism adapts to adjust for these things, and what it hinges on is that there's only ever going to be a minimal level of attention paid. Oh, it's Haiti. I'm sure they're sending the Kenyan government in for their own good because those people can't cover themselves. If you just look even a little bit at Haitian history, you'll see that that's not true. But they're betting on people's tendency not to look. They're betting on people's apathy and really stupidity and delusion, because it doesn't behoove anyone, not anyone, but a lot of people, it doesn't behoove them to look into it because slavery behooves them. Yeah. They're betting on people's reliance on slavery. But it all forms a circle, really, right? Because, you know, a lot of their philosophy is based on the philosophy of indigenous peoples, even though they won't admit it. And yeah, I don't want to separate African people from indigenous peoples, like they can't be indigenous, but like, master slave dialectics, which so much of quote Western philosophy, quote Western unquote philosophy is based on, is inspired by the Haitian Revolution in the first place. Yeah, yeah, And it's just like how my roommates, when they framed me, they took possession of all my paintings and read all my paintings and read all my diaries, you know. It's this sort of like rape, like a mental rape. And this is how empire um like like survives. That's like its modus operandi. It's like everything it knows through rape. That's its science, you know what I mean? Is literally rape, you know? Rape and projection. All its barbarity and savagery, it just projects on its enemies. And then their actual culture, it sucks up into itself and it pretends that it came up with it. Anyway, just a little moments with Tiffany, morning thoughts with Tiffany. Peace.